Welcome to Suzuka, Japan, the scene of round 16 of this year's championship.
Welcome to a bit of action on Formula 1 running here on the PlayStation 1. We see here Damon Hill at Suzuka, as it was. This game released back in 1996, before Max Verstappen was even born. So there you have it. I mean, it's quite crazy to see now. I was racing around here, of course, years ago, loving this at the time. And I believe this is the first four-way PlayStation 1 multicam on YouTube, because I've never seen one before. And isn't it amazing? There we are with replays and, you know, all these cars on track and manual gears. An incredible achievement by the Bizarre Creations team. Racing around into the Degners. It was amazing for us at the time to have a game of this sort of scale and complexity. And moving from the world of 2D racing games and then sending Super Monaco Grand Prix to Formula 1 on the PlayStation was such a massive change. As I start, I'm just sort of getting the hang of the braking here. The braking's a little bit later than I thought it was. So now I'm going to start working my way up through the field through the rest of this video. So obviously Lewis Hamilton winning the Drivers' Championship yesterday. Of course, Mercedes winning the Constructors a couple of weeks ago. Again, another dominant year for Mercedes, really. Best car of the year. And, you know, in terms of, not in terms of pace, but also in terms of reliability. It really is a bulletproof car this year. And seen incredible reliability. And now they can focus on next year's car. And of course taking their foot off the gas to an extent a little bit. You know, I don't think we saw them fully motoring around, and obviously it gives other people the chance, and we saw Max Verstappen racing around. We'll see if the Renault performance you see actually does mean anything when the championship's back on again next year. But let's hope in 2018 we see a more powerful Renault engine. They're saying it will be, and they're able to compete. And of course we see McLaren in the mix as well. And it was great to see just how good the chassis was in that McLaren. I mean, in the twisty bits, they were the quickest, and you think with a bit of extra power, my goodness, it would be good to see that McLaren racing round and what it's capable of. Of course, next year we're going to have the horrible halos. Again, largely untested, but coming into Formula 1 anyway. And one just hopes that it doesn't cause any catastrophes of its own, either with the electricity flowing through the car or with the car rolling and a driver unable to get out. You know, there's two of my key issues with it. But either way, it's been an interesting season. I'll do a proper roundup at the end of the season. I used to do blogs all the time about the Grand Prix. As I'm working my way up through the field here, I'm getting a bit more restless with everybody and trying to just get a bit more aggressive to get past them. You can't hang around. We don't have that many laps. But it's amazing, isn't it, to have these replay cameras and different angles on a game that's so old. When you look back now, just how they were pushing the PlayStation 1 technology beyond its limits. Really great to see what this team did. And of course, you know, eventually making Project Gotham as well. You know, PGR3, PGR4 still look incredible to this day. Such a shame to lose Bizarre Creations. Bearing in mind some of what they were putting out, but it's all there though in the memories in terms of what they've put out in the past, and some great content. And of course the sequel to this, F1 97, was fantastic as well. I used to, obviously being a big Damon Hill fan, I would always pick the arrows, put it down to stiffen the suspension, really stiff, reduce the downforce as much as I could to get some straight line speed, and then just really drive it as well as I could on the corners, maximising those lap times. And then when you get a 9th place or something, you know, if you manage to get 1 point in 6th place, you'd feel like you'd won a race. You really had to work that hard to maximise every corner, and you did. You know, you stuck to one game. I find these days people move from game to game so quickly, but back then we were putting a lot more time still into each game. So we race our way round. So no, that was really this. I thought I'd have a little chat. I'm going to come back on a little chat about this season. We were hoping to run a blog for each season, but I'll go into all that on each race. Sorry, but I'll go into that on the on the final sort of end of season chat and podcast. And I'm going to leave you a little bit of racing now with the legend that is Murray Walker commentating, of course. This was before we had Martin Brundle on the commentary team, which is amazing how Martin's been doing it for 20 years himself. And it's amazing how the years have flown by. So closing up now on McLaren. And just unable to get by. The old 130R here is still a little bit tougher than the modern corner. And of course a lot more gravel traps as well. So if you did go wide, you were pretty much out of the race. Which, you know, I miss the gravel traps. I miss you know, that level of challenge. It's sometimes too easy to recover if you make a mistake now. And I know some of it was done on safety grounds, but it's a shame we see some of the circuits changed in that way. But I'm just rambling about it all at the moment. So F1 race yesterday, enjoyed it for what it was. Look forward to the next race. I'm going to leave you now with a little bit of this F1 because I wanted to show a multicam, and why not? And also hopefully I'll get back to doing some more classic content in the new year as well. But I'll leave you a bit of this, and there'll be more from me very soon.
Just how small the gap is. That's taken him up a position. That was almost certainly a collision there. That's powerful acceleration there. He forces his way through. Remarkable. Up into first position. Race order: Damon Hill, John Alesi, Michael Schumacher, Gerhard Berger. Time extension. Championship. Sensational! What a marvellous race! What a great win!